Okay, now let's do this. So it's been a while. The New Year's been going on for about 4 weeks, and my last upload was back in November. So this is might be a little late, but I'm still gonna do it. This is my video on my favorite comics of 2022. I'm doing categories. It will be ongoing, or ongoing mini one shot slash favorite read, or favorite issue. Favorite new series, which means it had to start that year, and favorite book that I read that did not come out in that year. It's going to be done with DC, Marvel, and Indie. So, starting with ongoing, with DC is, as you'd probably guess from the last video I did, is Flash. I still think it's my favorite comic so far. When I wrote this was back in December, so 1 Minute War hadn't started. I have not read 1 Minute War, so I've heard good things. I've heard it's very, very good, so we'll see how that goes. I'm assuming it's good. I'll deal with that later. Next on to Marvel is both Captain America books. Cannot choose between the two. I think they are both amazing. I think it's a little dumb that there's two of them, because I don't know how long this is going to last, considering the last time they got two Captain America books. They only went to around 20 issues each. Sam Wilson was 25 issues, I believe, before it referred back to just Captain America. So, I think they're great, and I think the one I was more interested in originally when it came out, when it was said, was the Steve book. But I think the Sam one might be written a little bit better. I can't remember, it's been a while. But I think I prefer the Sam one over the Steve. So, I also think the covers for the Sam one are better. So, and finally onto the indie book, If Something Is Killing the Children. It probably would have been Spawn. But I mean, I think the 5th volume, Something That's Killing Children, is definitely my favorite so far. So because I don't remember what it is, but I love the series. I think the only worst part about this is waiting for the damn trades to come out. Next for miniseries, DC is Dark Crisis. Yep. This was the only DC mini I read all year. Blue Beetle Graduation Day did start last year, but it hasn't finished. And a strong opening doesn't always equal a strong ending. So, next with Marvel is Captain Carter. I think it was great. I really did like the series. I was always planning on checking it out, but I think when they originally announced it, it was I think it's weird because they always go with the characters getting a new series. I do like how the ending of this doesn't have a sort of insinuating that it could go on more. I think they could be interesting, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't have one for indies. I didn't read a ton of indie books. We got all mostly Marvel and DC. So, favorite one shot or single issue for DC? Probably. I think favorite issue is probably the 2022 annual for Flash. I think if you haven't read that, check it out. Just check out the whole run. I think Adams is doing an amazing job on Flash. Probably my favorite run of Flash so far. I think the Francis Manapul is probably second, because I really, really like that run. And then I need to read all of Joshua Williamson's run. So, the next one is kind of the same thing, but for indies, probably Batman Spawn. I'm doing this backwards. Don't worry about it. I think it's just a good single issue. It's not a masterpiece by any sorts, and I don't think it's my favorite thing out there. I think it's good. Do you think... I think the covers for it were great, I think. So, yeah. I also find it interesting. I think... Is it the Superman one? Because I think that's probably my favorite variant of it. I kind of just want to do... I kind of want to see what, like, a Dan Moore just short run on. Because I think he did that cover. I think it's Dan Moore. But him do, like, a short little run on Spawn, I think that'd be kind of interesting. Because, I mean, the art in Spawn's always been great. Moving on is... With Marvel is... The Iron Man Hellcat angle. I like what Christopher Cantwell did with the Iron Man character. I don't know how it ends, because towards the end of the year, because last year was just I didn't buy it. I didn't buy a ton that I really wanted to. I was kind of behind on a lot of stuff. Batman was like the only character I always actively keep up with, so there's that. But no, what I've read of Cantwell's run I really did like. I think I can understand some of the problems people have with it. I don't remember what, but I think for what he did with it was very, very good. I liked it. Also, is it Kafu's art or is it Keifu? I think it's Kafu's how you pronounce his name. I love his art. I absolutely love his artwork. The art in that book is just amazing. Next category is favorite new series. We didn't start this year. You could probably guess. Is Batman Superman World's Finest. I think when this book was first announced, it was very clear that it was supposed to be a very Silver Age-esque book. It was not meant to be a dark, depressing series. It was meant to be more like lighthearted, which I think needs to be more done. That's kind of why I like Flash so much, is because a lot of times, because there are some issues where it's very, very lighthearted. It's not a deep deconstruction of like who Wally West or this series or Batman Superman. Also, Dan Moore's always just beautiful. He is definitely in my top 10. Ending up the sections is favorite book that didn't come out this year is Batman Year One. Yes, I did in fact read Batman Year One for the first time this year. I'm aware. But I mean, I loved it. Is it? How do you pronounce his name? Oh, hang on, give me a minute. But the art in that series is amazing. It's definitely one of those I can't really imagine that Batman like interacting with Superman. It's very, very gritty. It's very, very somewhat realistic. Because I mean, I think like Batman took on like 4 guys. He was already tired. He almost dies multiple times throughout that book. I don't know. It's been enough to read it. But if you read it, you can definitely see that it's very gritty. It's that Batman would get incinerated by Darkseid, and that's. I think that's kind of the reason why like the Dark Knight trilogy just wouldn't work in a cinematic universe. That Batman could not fight like an actual comic book Bane.
Manhattan rush hour is no joke.
So, moving on to honorable mentions. I'm just start naming these off. That one by Chip Zdarsky has been very good. I was a little hesitant because he said he was when he was first announced. It was said that there was going to be the Doomsday of Batman. Gotham being taken over again was dumb. I don't like that. Poor Gotham. But no, I think after the first issue, it was very much. I think his run is going to be definitely one of the better ones. So I do think that his run will definitely be remembered. I don't know if Failsafe will be a remembered villain. But yeah, Jorge Jimenez's art is beautiful.
Try and guess how I feel about bullets.
So, moving on is Action Comics. Action Comics has been good since... So I started it when Infinite Frontier first came out. Then I didn't, and then when War World started, I kind of get out of it because I couldn't find the issues. It was always like 1036, I believe what it was, is the last issue I could find. And then when Kal-El Returns came out, that's when I was like, I'll just have to start there again. So I have, so like that, like 12 issue section I don't have. I think it's 12. Is it 12 issues? I think it's actually more like, yeah, no, I think it's 11 because it's 2 trades. So, I have the first 2 trades, Volume 1, Volume 2. Volume 2 is the start of War World. Then for Volume 3, then I'll be caught up. Somewhat. I can read them. Moon Knight and Daredevil. From Moon Knight, what I've read has been very good. I got somewhat caught up to Daredevil. Those are written by Jed MacKay and Daredevil. Or, Daredevil written by Daredevil. Chip Zdarsky. I really do want to... I kind of hope Chip Zdarsky will write Spider-Man. Because there's not really a lot of other writers I can... But I don't know if he said somewhere, but I don't know if he actually would want to write Spider-Man. I think Batman's the biggest character he's done. So... Yeah. I would want him to write Spider-Man, but I think for Spider-Man you would have to do like a soft reboot again, because of the amount of like shit he's been through in the past 15 years. But because he's just been passed around like so many writers, it's impossible. You would need somebody just to, like, clear everything, I think, to really fix him, or just go back to a sort of like modernized high school era where he's more down to earth. He's, you know, more street level, stuff like that. I don't know what that's gonna do. Moving on. Like I said with Iron Man was good. I enjoyed what Cantwell did with the series. And it just kind of makes some people mad. It's Amazing Spider-Man. It's very much... Wells' run is very... I hate using this word, but it is kind of mid. I can't say it's terrible. I think it definitely put it above Beyond. Because I was reading Beyond and didn't find it interesting until I was like halfway through it. Halfway through Beyond, because it was just... Beyond to me was just kind of boring for most of it. I was very much just like, okay, so when does Peter come back? Which is a horrible thing, especially when you're trying to make Ben Reilly the protagonist for the next... Was it 18 issues? I think it was 18 issues. For the 18-issue chunk, you're trying to make Ben Reilly in it, and like the first 8 issues, it was just boring to me. It wasn't until, I think it was said when they were like, when Ben Reilly's memories were being taken away, or they were like removing his memories, it was like, okay, now this is getting interesting. That's when I really started to enjoy it, but I just thought it was boring. I don't know how well Dark Web is. Again, I haven't started reading it. I don't think I've heard the best of things. From what I know, they keep just driving Ben Reilly's character into the ground. So, yeah, that's interesting. But I think it'll definitely be interesting. I'm curious to see when Wells will get off the book, to see... Because I think issue 20 is going to be the issue that really ties the whole thing around, because I think that's when that's when the mystery is revealed of what he did. And I think there's going to be, like, the whole... Will this run be... Will it make sense? Because I think with the... because I think the mystery and the payoff needs to be good. Because if the premise is bad, then the payoff needs to be excellent. Because then you can go back to reading it, to like reread the entire run from start to finish. Go, okay, this is what he was leading up to. Because I think Tom King's run played a different thing, but it's kind of the same thing. I think if Tom King was able to do his 100-issue Batman run, I think it would have been remembered more as a great Batman run, because you would understand what he was trying to do. I'm not saying that you should always... I think when you're doing long runs or you have this payoff idea, don't put everything into your payoff, because people are just going to get mad and leave halfway through. If you leave halfway through, then they won't realize, oh, the ending is what really ties everything together. Because that halfway point might still be bad. I think you should lead up to that payoff, but I think his entire run is much better if you read it as one full story. That was a long tangent. Good God, I still have some more left. But no, I don't hate it, but it's not. I think I definitely put it under. I definitely put it under Spencer's run. Because I think the first quarter of Spencer's run, I really liked. I think the first 25 or so issues is probably some of the best Spider-Man. I don't remember. I'll talk about it. I think, yeah, right. I think if I go back to reread it as one whole thing, I'll probably do a forward or something. Darth Vader is probably my favorite out of all the Star Wars books. I've read. It's the Charles Soule Star Wars ongoing that I think is good. Bounty Hunters I haven't read too much of. Dr. Aphra is fine. But I mean, Darth Vader is just, I love it. I think this is definitely my favorite one, even the War of the Bounty Hunter issues. I have yet to read that event. But I love those issues. I think I'm up to 30. Or is it 29? I don't remember.
That's it? I feel like the holdup guys are.
But overall, those are my favorite comics of last year. If this ever gets the traction that I hope it does, leave your favorites in the comments. You can use your own categories. You can use mine. If you need to iterate, it's ongoing mini one-shot favorite issue, new series, favorite book, or I decided to divide us into Marvel or DC Marvel indie. Oh, and for more honorable mentions, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I really liked. I think I read Transformers. Have they announced the new? Oh, I don't think they have. But Transformers, and then I don't remember what else. I don't think I read much else. Indie. But no, yeah, that'll finish it off. So yeah.